If you crouch spam in Apex, I can 100% guarantee that you are doing it wrong. And I know this because I have watched every single movement video published to YouTube, yet not a single person has talked about what I'm going to show you today. Today, I'm going to show you how to properly use crouching in 2 different broken ways. All right, legends, Coach District here, and today's going to be a little quick one because I want to talk about something that I've been seeing a lot recently during my Wednesday and Thursday night classes when I'm actually going over your guys' clips, reviewing them with you in our Discord server, and basically breaking down like what you guys are doing right and wrong. I see this issue all the time with how you guys are crouching and strafing inside of your fights, and it's starting to get to the point where I'm seeing it so much that it actually kind of gets on my nerves because I have to talk about it so insanely often. A lot of people, when they are using their crouch spams in fights, right? What I see a lot, especially when they're hip firing, are people who are doing this and they're crouching really quickly over and over and over again. And on your screen, it's like, oh, dude, look at my gun. My gun is going crazy. Oh yeah, dude, this is gonna be such a cool clip. But in reality, look at what your body's doing. This is what your body's doing. Literally nothing. In reality, what's actually happening, not only are you not doing anything to your opponent, but you're actually consistently and constantly doing something to yourself that is, 1, going to make you miss shots, 2, going to take your focus away from what you're trying to do, and 3, it's just one extra step that is going to burn you out over the course of your fight or over the course of your match. Basically, what's happening, aside from the fact that you're just not crouching while you're trying to crouch in this gunfight, because you're constantly hitting that button over and over and over again, especially if it's on your right hand, if you're on controller, you're going to be constantly tensing the muscles or the ligaments inside of your forearm. And if, in case you didn't know, right, all the ligaments in your hands, all the muscles in your hand are connected to each other. It's why when you try to like move one finger, some other fingers move with it. If you're constantly spamming your crouch button over and over again, you're going to be tensing your thumb, and that's going to make you be a little bit less accurate to the point where maybe you don't hit that 1 meg. Maybe you can't get that perfect flick over to their head and land a laser beam on them. First thing that we need to start doing is we need to stop spamming, because this is just, it's not doing anything for you. The second thing that we need to do is we just need to understand how crouches work. There's 3 parts to a crouch. There's the top of your crouch, there's the bottom of your crouch, and then there's the transition between where you're actually moving up and down. And you need to understand what your body's going to do in these different stages of your crouch. At the top of your crouch, you're going to be moving at maximum speed. Once you start holding your crouch or you toggle your crouch and you start transitioning down, you will continue to move at that maximum speed, right? Because you haven't hit the bottom of your crouch yet. So as we're crouching and as we're taking these fights, what we should be trying to do is either hold or toggle crouch, and then just before we hit the bottom, we let go of it. And then we hit it again. And you want to somewhat spam it at the bottom of the crouch. You don't want to spam it at the top of your crouch. Now, that's just one part of the crouching aspect that you need to understand when it comes to crouch spamming. The second part that you really got to prioritize and focus on is crouching with your peaks. What a lot of people tend to do is they step out while crouching. And you notice how my head is staying like really high for a majority of the peak. And that's because you're not spending long enough time in the open to actually even get yourself to the bottom of your crouch. There's 2 different ways that we can get around this issue and actually maximize being as low as possible while still keeping ourselves moving fast. Trick number 1 is just have a longer peak to where you can actually go through the whole animation and actually hit the bottom of your crouch. So as I'm playing here, I'm going to step out while crouching, and then I'll spend enough time to where I'll hit the bottom of my crouch, and then I'll come back up. This can cause an issue though, because if you come all the way out and you spend longer in the open, you're risking taking more damage, which means that you might get broke or get knocked, and that's a reason for a team to go and swing and push you. Probably the worst of the 2 options. The best option, the second option, is going to be to actually start your crouch before you even start stepping out. So as I'm behind cover, I'm actually going to crouch, and then just before I hit the bottom of my crouch, or as I'm about halfway through the animation, then I'll step out. Look at the difference here. I'm going to step out and crouch. Crouch, step out. Massive difference. I'm actually spending the whole time in the bottom of my crouch as opposed to spending the whole time basically standing up. Now, that second option, crouching and stepping out, there's a couple little things that you need to know about this. When you crouch and step out, you're really close to the bottom of your animation. So if I hold my crouch, I'm gonna start moving slow. And if I'm moving slow, I'm a really easy target to hit, even though my body's half the size. So when I crouch and step out, I'm either going to let go of the crouch and start stepping back in, or I'm going to start hovering the bottom. The only issue with crouch spamming at the bottom is that your crosshair obviously moves a lot more. So controlling recoil starts to get like really awkward. Like you have to aim above their head so that when you're crouch spamming, it actually brings, because again, you're gonna get really low now, right? And because you're so low, you're aiming at their nuts. Like look, aiming at his head, aiming at his middle chest. If I aim at his chest, I'm now aiming underneath his cock.
Something I actually forgot to mention, and this is probably really important considering if you don't have this, then you're probably not going to be able to do anything that we're talking about with this video. You actually need the ability to do what we're talking about. And this is going to come from either having a Pro controller or having a custom button layout. Pro controllers are going to be the easiest way to go about doing all the things that we're talking about. By getting a controller that has paddles on the back of it, you're going to be able to map your AXYB to those paddles. That way you never have to take your thumbs off the sticks. The two best controllers that I can recommend, one that I'm affiliated with, AIM controllers. They have the best paddles that I've personally ever played with, which is why I choose to be sponsored by them and not a company like Scuff. The paddles are nice and wide, they're in the right place, and they're the perfect size and shape and in placement for the size and shape of my hands. The second option is Power Fusion A controllers. You can pick them up at Walmart and they are an insane budget option. If you know any more controllers, make sure to comment them down in the comment section below so that other people can get good value from this. And the last option is a free option. By changing your button layout to a layout that is optimized for movement, or in this case, just keeping your thumbs on the sticks so that you don't have to hit like your crouch all the time on the faceplate, you will be able to actually do what I just said. The two best options when it comes to custom button layouts is going to be either Ninja or Evolved. Ninja, in my opinion, is a little bit better, but if it doesn't work for you for whatever reason, try out Evolved. You can also just make your own layout if that fits best for you, but that can be pretty difficult if you don't have a Pro controller. Links in the description down below if you want to check out AIM controllers. And guys, leave those comments. What is a good budget controllers for the people who need it? Moral of the story, use your crouches at the bottom of the animations. Quit using them so much at the tops of the animations. If you guys found this video somewhat informative, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment as to what you guys have been doing wrong after I told you all these different things. Maybe you already do this. I don't know. Maybe you're already the GOAT. Much love. Links in the description down below if you guys want to book anything. Remember, do not quit because it will only get easier from here. See you guys in the rank lobbies, my guys.